Welcome to my madness, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be taking a look at this SH Figuarts friendly neighborhood Spider-Man from No Way Home. I pre-ordered this guy a while back, several months ago, from Big Bad Toy Store, and finally got him in. Was very excited to order him because, you know, I mean, I am old enough to have absolutely loved the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. Maybe not quite as much Spider-Man 3, but still, you know, going back and watching it, it's not as bad as I originally thought. But either way, you know, No Way Home for me was an amazing movie. Loved that movie. Loved seeing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in that movie, and was very excited to pick this thing up. So we got it here in all its glory. Basic SH Figuart packaging. Let's go ahead, crack this guy open, see what we got inside, because I'm very excited on this one. I really, really am. Alright, so here we have him in all his glory, but let's take a look at accessories real quick. First, we're going to look at the hands here. Didn't want to take them out of the package. There's so many of them. You get 5 sets of hands here. So you've got your open hands, your thwip hands, you've got your web gripping hands, you've got your slightly opened hands. I'll show you what that's for here in just a minute. And then, of course, you've got pointer fingers right there, so you get that. You also get some web effects here. So we've got this one. This one's, I don't know, 5 inches long, give or take. And it does have a little peg there so that can go into the gripping hands. Then, of course, you do get a couple of smaller web effects like this. Got those there. And those actually have little holes on the bottom of them with this little peg on it so that you can actually slide that between the wrist and the hand, so that you can go ahead and make it look like he's shooting his webs. Then, of course, you get a kind of a crumpled up Spider-Man mask right there. And that's what those slightly open hands are for, so that you can kind of have him holding his mask while he has on one of these heads. And you've got some unmasked Tobey heads here. We've got kind of serious Tobey right there. Looks pretty good. I think it's a pretty good likeness. Not perfect, but certainly better than anything else we've gotten in 6-inch scale that I've seen. And then you've got Happy Tobey with his messed up hair, like he just pulled his mask off and he's smiling and looking pretty happy there. So yeah, so you got those. And now we get to the figure itself. All right, so let's take a close look at this guy right here. And I think he looks pretty good. You know, I will say, and this kind of did jump out at me when, you know, when I saw the promotional photos. And when you've got a character like this in a bodysuit, the hip articulation on SH Figuart figures is really, really noticeable. And I gotta say, it's not looking good, honestly. Like, everything else looks fine on the figure, just from the sculpt and everything, even with the articulation. But those hip joints there kind of look atrocious. I gotta be real honest. I mean, look, you know, it looks like he's wearing some sort of weird diaper with a, I don't know, a chastity belt or something. I mean, it doesn't look good. And even compared to other figures I've got from SH Figuarts, other Spider-Man figures and stuff, it doesn't look good. I gotta be real honest with you. So I'm not digging that, honestly. But as far as, you know, the sculpt and the details on everything, it looks really good. I mean, I like that the webs are raised and they're silver. The head sculpt looks great. The texture on the suit, on the blue of the suit, looks nice, feels nice. I mean, all in all, it's done really, really well. It's just that style of hip joint, that engineering that SH Figuarts does not look good when this is supposed to be someone in a skin-tight bodysuit. So that just doesn't look very good, in my opinion, to be honest with you. But everything else on here looks good. Again, sculpt, paint, everything exactly what you would want it to be on this guy. Head sculpt looks great. Really dig that. And so, yeah, that looks really good. As far as articulation goes, it is pretty basic SH Figuarts articulation. So you've got the, you know, all the standards that you would expect from SH Figuarts, you know, toe articulation, all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, the hips And then you get that really ugly joint right there with the hips. You know, it is what it is. You know, he does lean forward great and does lean back great. So, I mean, it is well articulated for a Spider-Man figure. He looks up pretty good, looks down great. I mean, there's a lot of good articulation here. It just does definitely interfere with the sculpt. The only articulation point that I saw on this thing that kind of made me go, eh? What? Is going to be on the butterfly joints, because as big and goofy as these butterfly joints are and how much they disrupt the sculpt, they obviously don't bother me as much as the hips, but I would expect with the butterfly joints looking like that, that would allow for a lot of forward movement in the shoulders, and that's it. That's as far over as his arm comes. All that breaking of the sculpt here, and you get from here, which is give or take where his arm would come to without a butterfly joint, to there. That's it. Like, that's it. So, you know, again, overall, I do like the look of the figure as far as sculpt and paint, but those shoulders and those hips aren't really doing it for me, I gotta be honest. So anyway, let's go ahead and do some comparisons here. We're gonna throw this guy up with some other figures, see how he stacks up, and then we'll talk about price. Alright, so first up we got to compare it to the other two SH Figuarts Spider-Man I have. Of course, we've got the No Way Home suit there on the right, and then I can't remember if this is the integrated suit or the upgraded suit or what this is over here on the left. I don't even remember which one it is. Both are great figures, but one thing you've got to notice right off the bat is the hips on these two figures look way, way better than the ones on this friendly Spider-Man figure. I mean, look at the hips on him. And while the articulation is all still there, it kind of just melts into the sculpt much better on these than it does on the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man figure. So, you know, it would have been nice had they done the same thing. And honestly, the way they did it was by making the joints smaller. You can see the diaper pieces on these two are considerably smaller and not as bulbous and sticking out everywhere like they are on this one. And I do understand, as you can see, he is a slightly bigger figure, but not that much. I feel like they could have shrunk the diaper piece down a little bit to just kind of have it look a little bit better. But either way, I mean, there you go. All right, so another Spider-Man comparison here. Of course, on the left, we have one of the original Spider-Man figures from, I believe, Spider-Man 2. I'll be real honest, I don't remember exactly which one this is. They did so many of them at the time, but this one I think is from back in 2004, 2005-ish, maybe, something like that. I can't remember. And then, of course, on the right, we've got Spider-Man from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, both Marvel Legends, or, well, I guess I should say the one is Marvel Legend, the other is from the Spider-Man movie, pre-Marvel Legends, and I still absolutely love both of these figures, even though they both have issues. And certainly if we're comparing the two Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, you know, the older one is overly muscular and looks a little bit off, but honestly, the sculpt still looks really, really good, and the fact that he's still got all that nice texturing, he still has all the nice silver paint on the web lines. I mean, it's still a really good figure, even if it is a little unrealistic with his huge thighs, and you know, he's a little bit goofy looking in some aspects, but I mean, as an action figure, I think he actually looks better than his new SH Figuarts, just because, I don't know, he just looks cooler. So yeah. Alright, so now it's time to talk about price. And this thing goes for somewhere between $90 and $95, at least when he first came out. I'm sure prices will come down some, hopefully, for some of you out there who want this. But the question, of course, is it worth it at that price? And I gotta be honest, as excited as I was for this figure, I don't think it's worth that price. The articulation, as I talked about, on the hips and the butterfly joints are ugly and, quite honestly, a disappointment. And while I am glad to have a new Tobey Maguire Spider-Man figure, you know, I don't think it's worth what they are charging for this guy. I really don't. And that's a shame because, you know, this is... this could have been a really nice figure. And I still think there's aspects of it that I really, really like. I think they did a great job on the sculpt and the paint and the web lines and the head sculpt and everything. And the articulation is definitely on point with this guy. But other than that, I mean, you know, again, you have to like compare this to other Spider-Man figures that are $25 to $30. Is this thing worth 3 or 4 other Spider-Man figures? The answer to that question is no. No, I don't think he is. So that's a shame that I feel that way because I am a huge Spider-Man simp, as you guys know. But I don't think he's worth 3 or 4 times as much of other Spider-Man figures. So there you go. Take that for what you will, but that's kind of where I fall on it. But anyway, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you have him? Do you like him? Do you want him? Let me know. Tell me what you think. And that is it, guys. So thank you guys for watching as always. And always remember to enjoy your collection.